Hey there, thanks for clicking in. I just wanted to show you a technique that I've come up with to restore horn scales on old Swiss Army knives. This is a little 84mm tourist I just came across, and it's the second one of these I've had. It's the third old Victorinox I've had that has the horn scales, and I believe those are water buffalo horns, Asian water buffalo. They could also be oxen, I don't know, they're just called buffalo horn scales. I said in one of my videos, I guess the first one that I had, that I thought Victorinox still put horn scales on knives from time to time. That's incorrect. I don't believe they have done that for quite some time. And the last horn scale I've seen on a Victorinox, it looks like the knife was pre-1973 because it had a clip point blade. Now, I know Wenger put some on for longer, but I haven't seen a horn scale on a modern Victorinox. I could, if I'm wrong about that, let me know. But I think this is something that I have seen them without the exposed rivets, and without the old style awl. But typically you see them with the exposed rivets. So this is a 84mm tourist. It's like the Spartan. It's just instead of 3.5 inches, it's 3.25. Again, it's probably from the 50s because of the exposed rivets and the old style awl, some other vintage features. But what I wanted to show you today was just a couple products that I've been using. And this is just after doing some research online about what do you treat or clean or seal horn scales with. And I read two things, and I used them both in conjunction. And the first is mineral oil. This is my mineral oil that I use to actually lubricate my knives too. But what I've been doing now, once I get these, they can be sanded, by the way. If they're scratched, the light sanding technique with the wet dry sandpaper that I use on the Celador scales works on the horn scales as well. And so you can bring them back up to a shine. That cleans them pretty well, and then I will rub them with a generous amount of mineral oil. And I will let that sit. And I will do that 2 or 3 times and let that sit maybe for a couple of days. And what that's doing is that's rehydrating the old bone. I'm sorry, the old horn. Because, this is a organic product, and, from the 50s, heck, it can dry out. And, they often look kind of dull and dry when you first get them. So that kind of rehydrates it. And then after I've done that, I'll wipe off the excess. And I'm just taking a neutral shoe polish. This is a Kiwi shoe paste wax. This stuff's good for leather. It's good for wood. So it can't be bad for old buffalo horn. And what I do is I just put it on there, rub it in, and polish it off like I'm polishing some shoes. And it gives it a really nice sheen. And I seal some of the dirt out. Keeps I guess, oils from your hand and dirt stuff out. So I just thought I would share that. This is a very nice knife, by the way, and this one has there's a big old fingerprint now, but this one has a blade etching that says Buehler or Bowler. I'm not sure how you pronounce that, but I did look it up, and that's a Swiss corporation. It's a big conglomerate there in Switzerland. And so you know how I like to get these knives with some provenance to kind of tie them back to Switzerland. Now, this doesn't definitively say this knife was bought and sold in Switzerland, but most likely it was. And it's got the Victoria Officer Suisse Officier, I'm sorry, I always say that, the Victoria Officier Swiss tank stamp. And, the other features we've seen before, but here's your sharpened cap lifter screwdriver with no 90-degree stop. It does have a wire stripper, I noticed. Can opener with the Swiss patent. Just saw in these earlier models when they first came out with that. And clip point small blade. Now this is really the only imperfection of this knife. It's got came to me with a little bend that I straightened. But once you get a little bend, maybe I'll show you how I straighten tips of blades sometimes. But you got to be very, very careful. So it's straight enough to sharpen. But once like that, it's always going to have a crimp in it. So this blade, if I can get it in the light, you'll see it's got a crimp near the bottom. So it's a little less than perfect. Yeah, but that's just a really nice knife. This knife says, "Don't hate me because I'm beautiful." That's what this knife says. Alright, just wanted to show you my technique for the scales. Now look at the scale on the other side. That's pretty nice. Cool. Like a greenish tint. A little bit of cream down here. Black here. Here it's mostly just kind of brown with a big old shot of black. Gorgeous. Thanks for watching, and have fun collecting.